Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Micah, aka CMS, and I got with me my big bro, my partner in crime, P. Ross, in the building,
Yeah, in
and
the
together
building.
we are the Purple Underground. We are the new breed. Yeah. All right. Check it out, folks. Today we are going to give you guys our review on the Let's Go Crazy, the Grammy salute to Prince that aired on TV uh, Tuesday on CBS. Um, the tribute show, which aired on Prince's the anniversary of his death, April 21st.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, so um, yeah, so this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go um, down the line on each performance. We're gonna give you guys, you know, our opinions. And we're gonna try to keep it respectful, but we're gonna keep it honest, we're gonna keep it real, and we're gonna keep it moving. And at the end of what we when we go through all the performances, we'll give you guys our conclusions, what we thought about the show, et cetera, et cetera. All right, all right, P. Ross, you ready? Let's
I'm
get it.
ready, sir.
All right. So the show kicked off with a performance by Gary Clark Jr. and her, and they performed "Let's Go Crazy." So, you want me
Uh,
to go first, or you want to go first?
I'll go. Let me just say, Gary Clark Jr. is one bad boy. You know what I mean? And if you haven't heard Her's album, you know what I mean. Y'all need to go listen to that and check that out. It's the bomb. But anyway, I
Hmm.
thought this performance was decent. You know what I mean? You can't. And let me say this too. You can't replicate a Prince song live. No one could do that but Prince. You know what I mean? And there were even some instances when he did his own performances, and some were better than some other ones. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But
Hmm.
it's like for each of these performances, don't expect to hear princely or godlike instrumentals and vocals because that's not what you're getting. What you're getting is people who respected him, who loved his music, who was obviously he was some kind of mentor to in one way or another. You know what I'm saying? So for the Let's Go Crazy performance, just like it was a great opener on the album, I thought it was a great opener for this show. So that's where I'm at
Hmm.
with it.
All right. Well said. I got down in my notes. Also, this song is a great opener for any Prince show or Prince related event. As far as the performance goes, I thought it was good for the most part. Uh, it set the tone for the evening. The audience seemed to be into it. I thought both artists sounded good. Both had nice guitar solos. Gary Clark Jr. did his thing towards the end. Um, her sounded good, but I was sort of expecting a little more out of her. Um, she was a little too laid back, and maybe perhaps she didn't want to do too much in the performance, so she just sort of played it cool, which is fine. And which, by the way, I need to start checking her out because over the past year and a half, every performance I've seen her do on certain award shows has been she done got the thumbs up for me, so um, definitely got to check her out. But my only critique of the performance, I would say it sort of lacked the energy that we're all used to seeing whenever this song is performed by either Prince or others who have covered it live. But like you said, you know, only Prince could do Prince. So, but I still thought it was a good performance. And other than that, I would say it would have been interesting to see the Revolution maybe be the backing band for this performance. That's just me. But other than that, I was cool with it.
Okay.
All right. So moving on to the second performance, we have Miguel performing "I Would Die for You." Um, let me go ahead and you know put my bid in
Be
if
my
you don't
guest.
mind. So I was a bit skeptical when this performance started. When it started off with Miguel doing these slow motion movements with his hands, and I wasn't sure what he was doing. But after going back watching this performance a few times, maybe he was channeling his inner Prince, getting a feel for the music. You know what I'm saying, by just letting like the moment uh, uh, simmer and build up. You know what I mean? Um, I thought his vocals were on point, and I've been listening to Miguel for the past few years now, so I definitely like a lot of his music. But he didn't try to sound like Prince. He stayed in his lane and just kind of did him. So and I thought the band was on point. I love the instrumentation, and let's see what else. I like the Latin flavor that was added in by Sheila E. and her brother Juan uh, Escovedo. It was sort of reminiscing of the "I Would Die for You" 12-inch single, which is essentially a rehearsal. Um, yeah, other than that, man, I actually really enjoyed this version of "I Would Die for You," and this would have to be one of the highlights for me of the show.
Yeah, it was a great performance. I was enjoying it. You know what I mean? I mean, you took the
Yeah.
words right out of my mouth, so you know.
Okay. That's all you got? You
Yeah,
just
that's it. Yeah, move on.
okay. All right. Well, moving on to the next performance, we have "Nothing Compares to You," the classic ballad, and this was performed by John Legend. You want to go or you want me to
You
go?
can go.
Okay. I'll say this: my initial reaction of this particular performance was I didn't really care for it, but after going back watching it a few times, it's not as bad as I thought it was, but it wasn't spectacular. I felt like his vocal style didn't go with the song, and I wasn't feeling it. Uh, I thought maybe it would have been nice if they got Paul Peterson. I thought he would have did a much better job, in my opinion. Well, a couple of good points I will say about the performance was John Legend. He was somewhat soulful. The band sounded really good. I did like the arrangements. Eddie M did a nice job with his sax solo. Overall, it was just an average performance, and this would have to be one of my least favorite performances of the show. So the next performance is we have Controversy, which was performed by Saint Vincent. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about Saint Vincent, so for any fans of hers, please forgive me. Forgive my ignorance. I don't know anything about her, but I will say, bless her. Much respect to her. I thought she sounded okay on the uh, on the guitar, excuse me. But as far as the performance itself, I wasn't really feeling it. The band sounded good, especially on the horns, but she just looked a bit stiff on stage and sort of out of place. For me, Controversy is a funk jam, and it's one of the best funk jams by Prince. And I just didn't think that the performance wasn't funky enough. I just couldn't feel it. So I would have loved to seen the revolution on this one, especially Wendy, because I know she would have brought it. But I'll give her an A for effort. I thought her look and or attire did sort of fit the Prince vibe, for as being eccentric and different and unique. Uh, so moving on, we got 1999, which was performed by Juanes. I think that's how you pronounce his name. This was a pretty decent performance, but I felt it was a little too short. The audience seemed to be into it. This is, 1999 is always a fan favorite. I did notice how they incorporated the instrumentation portion towards the end of the song that was used on the Love Sexy tour when they performed 1999. So I thought that was cool. I'm sure Sheila had something to do with that. Other than that, it was okay. It was decent. So next up, we have her coming back. Uh, this is her and Misty Copeland doing the beautiful ones. Uh, I thought this was a nice performance. I enjoyed most of it. I thought her sounded good. She looked nice. Did a good job on the first half of the song, but I think towards the end, on the "Do you want him or do you want me" part, she didn't really bring it as far as showing that raw emotion. She just seemed to kind of again hold back and kind of just kind of keep her cool. But again, maybe she was just staying in her lane and didn't want to overdo it. So but Misty Copeland, she did her thing. I thought she was great. Overall, I did enjoy the performance. So next up, we have they did a replay or re-aired the performance from the Grammys by Usher featuring FKA Twigs. Their performance of Little Red Corvette and Kiss. We already did a review of this performance, so if you guys want to go check that out on our YouTube channel, feel free to do so. But I'll keep it real short and brief. Um, I've watched this performance, went back and watched it a few times. I definitely have a more of appreciation for it. Not to say that I didn't in the beginning, but this was a good performance. So kudos to Usher and FKA Twigs. Next up, we got Susanna Huffs and Chris Martin from Coldplay doing Manic Monday. This was more of a stripped down version of the classic 1986 pop hit. Um, I thought Susanna Huff's vocals sounded really, really good. Uh, Chris Martin's vocals, not so much. Didn't do anything for me personally, but nonetheless, it was a very nice performance. I like the fact this song was added in the set list of the show because I feel like it showcases Prince's uh, or that side of Prince as a songwriter for other artists, and it also allows the viewers who are not the hardcore Prince fans like us, but mainly a casual fan or who was already a fan of that particular song by the Bangles but never knew that Prince wrote it. So, you know, I was fine with them. performing that song for the tribute. So moving on, we got the legendary, or what I forget who on the show said it, but they said that this may be been Prince's greatest creation. We got Morris Day and the Time, and they performed Jungle Love, Cool, and The Bird. Uh, this was pretty much a typical but good performance because you know the Time they always do their thing. It was nice to see them perform Cool. Um, I would have loved to hear something like 777 9311 or even Jerk Out, but they pretty much kind of stuck with the more popular songs, which is fine. But um, it was just nice to see something like Jerk Out or something like that. It was glad to see Jimmy, Terry, and Jerome on stage. I would have loved to see Jesse Johnson on up there as well. No disrespect to Tori Ruffin, but I love seeing the original seven up on stage. So yeah, there was they did their thing. Um, Next up, we got the Foo Fighters, who technically they performed two songs. One was Pop Life, but that was actually cut from the show. But there is a video online if you guys want to check that out, and it's actually pretty good. But the one that they did air was their performance of Darling Nikki. This was a kick-ass performance, hands down. Very energetic. The Foo Fighters was not playing. They did the damn thing. Easily one of the best uh, highlights of the show. So next up, we have the legendary Earth, Wind, and Fire, and they performed the classic ballad "Adore." I thought this was a great addition to the show. I was a little worried in the beginning because Philip Bailey's voice, to me, is I thought it was sort of cracking a little bit, but as the song uh, carried on, it was great. He definitely finished strong with that falsetto, and yeah, I thought they did a good job. So definitely was a very well done performance. Next up, we have Sheila E. and Common. Bring a little hip hop to the mix as they performed Sign of the Times. This was a pretty good performance. I liked Common's rap, as far as like what he said. Um, Common is very much well respected MC. I know him and Prince had a pretty good relationship from just from my end of it. I know they've worked together. I know Prince played guitar on one of Common's albums. I know Common has performed with Prince at Paisley Park before, and one of Prince's after shows years ago. So yeah, I thought this was a nice performance. Um, Sheila did her thing, on the drums. Um, so next up we have Beck, who performed Raspberry Beret. This was decent. I thought this was a good song for Beck to do. I don't know a lot about Beck, but I thought that this was. I thought this song fit him. I've seen a couple other people who did their reviews said it looked like he was doing a karaoke type of performance. I can see that. Um, so yeah, like the crowd was into it. Raspberry Beret is just such a great pop song. So kudos to Beck. He did his thing. Next up, we got Gary Clark Jr. returning to the stage, performing "The Cross." Um, Now, I like this performance. I like the fact that I would say this to the casual viewers who may not know the song, or if they was more so fans of Prince in the '80s, they would know the song. But if they just know Purple Rain and Kiss and Little Red Corvette, they're not gonna know this song really. So I was glad to see them add or see someone perform this song. Uh, Gary Clark did the damn thing, man. He killed it, you know. So um, I thought this was again another one of the best highlights of the show. So yeah. So next up we got uh, Sheila E. She performed America, mixed in a little bit of Free, and also doing her biggest hit, the Glamorous Life. Um, Sheila is just like amazing on stage, man. I mean, regardless of the controversy that's been swirling around within the last week, almost 2 weeks now. You can't take away from her ability as a musician and as a performer. She did her thing. She's always great, and that solo that she does on the Glamorous Life, it just never gets old for me. So next up, we got Princess and the Revolution. Princess which is a tribute band by Maya Rudolph, and I forget what the other lady is, uh, but yeah, they performed Delirious with the Revolution. Uh, this performance was cool. It was, it was cute, but I didn't have too much of a problem with it. I do like how they were doing certain things that reminded me of the the Purple Rain tour show, the Syracuse show. So other than that, it was cool. Now the Revolution did great. I think I would have much rather seen the performance of Mountains that got cut. So moving on, we have Mavis Staples, the legend, Mavis Staples, and the Revolution performing Purple Rain. Um, I thought this was a pretty good performance. I've seen little rumblings about Mavis vocals. Look, Mavis is a legend. So she's she's an elder, and you have to put some respect on her name. I still thought she did a good job. Um, Wendy killed that guitar solo. Oh man, she I mean she killed it. Um, so you always have to include Purple Rain, in any type of tribute show. So that's only right. Last we got the All Star. It's like an All Star cast who closed out the show with "Baby I'm a Star." Um, it was cool. I would have loved to see the full performance. It was sort of you had the credits rolling and everything, so it was all right. It was nice to see most of the performers on stage. So other than that, I thought this was a good show. I went back and watched it about 3 or 4 times. I think the more I watch it, I think I enjoy it a little bit more. Um, I don't think it was the perfect Prince tribute, but just for what it is, I thought it was good. Um, the one thing I wish they would have done was maybe throw in 2 or 3 songs from the '90s. I think, and I get that the '80s period to most people was his best period, But I feel like the '90s was a great period also in Prince music, and he did have some great music in the '90s. I would have loved to see Get Off or Seven, or even someone do the Most Beautiful Girl in the World, you know, or even Cream. You know, like those four songs just uh, within itself were considered to be hits. Um, you know, it would have been nice to see like the MPG a part of the show, but you know, for whatever reason, you know, they had their choice of uh, of people that they wanted to be a part of the show. So if I had to pick my five favorite performances, I would say I definitely got to go with Miguel with his performance with "I Would Die for You," the Foo Fighters performance of "Darling Nikki," Gary Clark Jr. performance of "The Cross." Let's see. I would probably go with Sheila E's, you know, when she did the America Free and the Glamorous Life, and probably Earth, Wind and Fire with Adore. I would probably say those would be my top five. With honorable mention going to her and Misty Copeland, the beautiful ones, and also the time. Um, if I had to rate it, because I know you know, me and P. Ross, we do the whole rating system. I would probably give this show out of five. I give it a solid 4 out of 5. And yeah, so let us know what you guys thought about the our video. Let us know what you thought about the show. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and shout out to all of our subscribers. Shout out to our fellow members, Lenny Beeson, aka L Boogie, and LC, Miss Laura. And other than that, see you next time. Peace and be wild.